Peace, 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 family. Grand risings, grand risings. What's the Medi today? Is Saturday, May 10th, 2025. It's a 9-year universal year. 9 universal year. Energy of the 9 is. Those are the humanitarians, so this is a year for raising, serving humanity. 9 is also the end of cycles, end of the single digit cycle. So endings this year, and haven't done a video in a while, but got my book here. You know, people tell me they just open it to a random page and get some wisdom. So we're gonna do that today. We're gonna try that. So, okay, we on page 65. Do you know the story of the Garden of Eden? Humans were cast out of paradise because they ate from the tree of knowledge. Our natural state is perfection. Adam and Eve were fully natural, and they became ashamed of their nakedness. Why? Knowledge interrupted their natural ways of being. Navigating back towards nature is to travel back to paradise. We have access to infinite riches, intelligence, and deep wisdom. Our connection to spirit and the infinite is our subconscious mind, and within this sphere of consciousness, there are no limits, such as time or space. Contemplating and speculating over the pieces of information that we receive constantly from different sources has the ability to cut off the flow or supply of immeasurable abundance. Okay. So the Bible speaks in allegories, right? So this is an allegory just telling us about eating from the tree of knowledge and how that cast us out of paradise. So paradise is our natural state. Paradise is us not using the mind or thinking, but to just be one with everything, one with nature, one with ourselves, our natural way of being. And thinking, it's a tool. They say the mind is a tool, so we can use it in a very powerful way. It's great as a tool. It's great when we use the mind as a servant, but when the mind becomes the master, it cuts us off from those higher states of consciousness. We have to transcend the mind. There are certain things beyond our physical being, beyond our physical mind. We call this metaphysics. And what is meta? Meta means above. So those are the high sciences. You often think of science in this very naturalistic way, but there's such a field as metaphysics, which is, when you read the book, it's really about metaphysics, the high physics, or the high sciences. Somebody you can get very far in terms of using your intellectual powers, but there are powers even greater than our intellectual powers, our spiritual powers. When we talk about people they have gifts beyond the 5 senses, extrasensory perception. We can perceive beyond the physical reality, and a gateway is our subconscious, right? Our subconscious mind. And how does our subconscious mind talk to us? Our subconscious mind talks to us in visions. It talks to us in our dreams. It talks to us in our intuition. But it's a two-way, right? Because we have our conscious mind, and with our conscious mind, we can imprint onto our subconscious mind. So the trick is to use the conscious mind as a tool rather than using it as the end all be all, and try to figure things out on a simply rational level, right? We have two brains, our left brain and our right brain. Our left brain is the intellectual brain, the rational brain, Um, and then the right brain is the artistic brain, or some would say the irrational, where you know, our ideas, that's why we love our artists. They have that access to that divine mind, that divine intelligence, So if we want to get back to our greater self, our greatest self, we want to get back to Eden, we want to get back to heaven. It's about knowing thyself and knowing your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, knowing when to use your left brain versus your right brain. And we live in a society that's very, very technical, and everything is rational, but there's limit to rational, the intellectual mind, right? So we have our subconscious mind, we have our divine mind, and we want to use our rational mind to imprint the right ideas, right thinking, right words, right actions, which will lead to right actions on our subconscious mind. But our subconscious mind is way, 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 way more powerful than our conscious mind. So if there's a conflict between these two minds, it's our subconscious mind that wins out. That's the storehouse of our beliefs. So our fears, our beliefs stored in our subconscious mind. So, but the power is we can imprint on our subconscious mind by, one of the tools is affirmations. Another tool is, just having a vision of what you want to come about. I had a dream recently where I knew everything existed, but I couldn't see it until I started talking about it. Once I started talking about it, it appeared, so it's very important what we talk about, our self-talk to ourselves. That gets down into our subconscious. 90% of the time, we're not even operating off of our conscious mind. We're operating off of our subconscious mind. So it's very important what we're telling ourselves, our self-belief, our self-esteem. And, other people can influence these things, but at the end of the day, we are the gatekeeper for our subconscious mind. So it's very important that we're putting good things into our mind, positive suggestions, affirmations into our mind. And, consciously creating rather than unconsciously just reacting to what we see and believing that's all that's possible. We have to go beyond the possible. Everything that's created now was created before. It's just showing up now. It's showing up and it's appearing in our physical realm, but everything started as an idea. So guard your mind, be protective of what you allow into your mind. This is your garden. Make sure you're planting good seeds. Those good seeds bear good fruit. There's also a phrase, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So it's not just about what you're thinking, but there's also this connection to the heart, right? So when we talk about like the heart chakra, if you go on the 7 chakra system, it's the middle one. It's the gateway between our lower chakras and our higher chakras. So it's not just about thinking it. It's about it in your heart, meaning your beliefs or what goes down into your that subconscious mind. So I hope that all made sense. So the Medi today is, going back to nature, going back to beyond thought. When you were one with the universe, when you were in tune with the universe, when you were your true self, not all these things that are put on you, not all these things that we learn from society or we learn from our parents. Try to go into that. What is your inner child? That's your soul. That's your essence. What did you love to do before society told you had to be a certain way or do a certain thing or had to, we all learn to conform to our families, our culture, maybe it's a religion, maybe it's a certain identity as a man, a certain race, a creed, try and strip all those things away. What are you left with? What is your soul? What is your essence? What is your soul calling you to do? So yeah, that's the medi today. Going back to nature, going back to your natural self before all these ideas were put on you, and try to figure out what is true to you. What is true to your soul? What is your soul calling for? What is your intention for incarnating at this time, in this part of the world? So peace to my cosmic conscious creators. Continue to live consciously. Continue to tap into your cosmic power. Hope this has been helpful. Peace.